I'm standing along the Wabash River in West Lafayette, in a place that would normally be underwater at this time of year in July. The Wabash River is low, like all the streams and rivers in Indiana. Some of the other streams and rivers that are low, for example, those feeding the reservoirs in Indianapolis, have really affected communities, causing a watering ban in that city. In Indiana, there's only a few communities, large cities like Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, some others that use surface water, as well as some of the smaller communities in southern Indiana where there isn't much groundwater. Groundwater is the water in the pore space within the deep layers, the deeper geological layers, and it's fed by rainfall, but the rainfall takes many years to get down through the surface layers and into those deeper layers. So many communities want to use groundwater as their water supply because it's relatively level, at the same level. Surface water, like the rivers you see here, will be affected much more quickly by a drought. We've heard reports that wells are going dry. This would especially be in isolated areas and wells that are the most shallow typically, or in formations that are the most in contact with precipitation, those that feel the effects of a drought much more quickly. But the vast majority of wells are still in very good shape with this drought of several months. To recover from the low water levels, it will take quite a few large rainfalls, because when the rain will fall, it will first be used by crops and then trees at the deeper levels, but it would take quite a while to get into a deep enough layer that it would actually flow into the streams for the most part. So these levels that we see in the Wabash today and many other streams will likely continue to go down throughout the growing season. As long as the plants are growing and taking up most of the rainfall, even if it rains, they'll take the water first. This drought gives us a glimpse of the future. We expect that the changing climate will cause more extreme conditions on both ends, both more floods that cause those dramatic hardships and crises, and more droughts that cause these slow-moving but just as severe crises. There are several things that you can do to conserve water. First of all, water your lawn less often and comply with any water restriction bans in your community. Second, if your household doesn't have low-flow plumbing, that would be toilets, faucets, and shower heads, certainly invest in them. It saves a lot of water. And then just in your water use, be mindful of the importance of water and the shortage. So for example, don't wash your car at home. Go to a car wash where they recycle the water instead. Take shorter showers, and throughout what you're doing, try and think about opportunities to conserve water. There's a lot of anxiety in this drought. But it's not a time to panic, because Indiana is still a water-rich state. We have lots of groundwater. But it is an opportunity to think of it as a wake-up call, to remember to not take our water resources for granted, but to think about conservation, to think about how our community is planning for using them wisely in the future.